Yeah, that's good. You just want to be cognizant here of like you did good when you did good because you went and warded, but you just need to make sure that you're aware that when you're trading like this, your jungler is you're playing Morgana, so she's basically looking to full clear, whereas their jungler is playing Volley, who's looking to gank. So if you and her both go down like to fucking like a third HP, then you need to be careful because their jungler is like much more likely to gank you than yours is to gank her.
Okay.
So like it's gonna be important to. And honestly, you should have gone. You should have already had the word out. I think before here here I would have like auto these minions so you get them low. Queue like I wouldn't have killed that last one. I would just auto them so they're all low and I can queue them all. And then once you kill all three of those, then I think that's your ward timer. It's the best time for you to ward. So
Okay.
you kill all three, you go ward, and then now you're safer. Because here, this Volibear, he'd like full cleared. He did not only did he red, but he did like raptors and wolves as well. But he just did red into Grump and blue, which is what he should have done. Then he would have been a lot faster on the map, and he potentially could be like ganking you on this next wave. So if you wait till after this next wave to go ward, then you can die. So
Okay.
here I would just you're pretty much full mana and you're pretty high. So I would have just auto those to get them low, Q, and then go. That's your ward timer.
Okay.
But your war timer is pretty much always the most optimal time is gonna be when like in between waves when the waves are coming into each other because that's when the minions are all full HP, right? So
Yep.
here you get your ward off, but because it's in the middle of the wave, you lose that one minion.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you do it when I told you, you lose none, and you're a bit safer. Like the ward's there when it matters, a bit more. Well, yeah, and that was a bit suboptimal.
Yeah. That's definitely bad. I wanted to punish her like for the cannon, but I didn't like play it well or
Yeah, and you're like you have to kind of understand that it just in general, Seraphine, you're gonna have a hard time trading with her because of her W. So the matchup's a lot different. Levels 1 and 2 if she goes Q and E than it is level 3 whenever she gets W. The matchup's a bit different because if she hasn't powered W like that, you're gonna do no damage to her for like 3 seconds, and she's still gonna be getting autos and Qs and electrocute procs on you. So
mm-hmm.
you need to be more respectful
Yep.
when she has W up with empowered. So right here, she's pretty close to like killing you. She's like
Mm-hmm.
flash auto QEs or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's also playing a bit further back than she used to. And she's taking a lot of creep aggro. Yeah, like here, you should kind of be dead. She just flashed on you there, I'm pretty sure you died.
Okay.
So, yeah, that trade was really bad. And honestly, depends on how much gold you had when you took the trade. It's pretty early, wasn't it? I'd probably just recall. I'd recall there and TP back. Because if you TP back, then you're gonna have to blow hard TP as well, and you have enough gold to get like a. You can get longsword and refillable, so it's not a bad. It's not a bad recall.
Okay.
So yeah, I would have backed and TP'd just because now it's really risky. And you're not gonna be able to play the game for basically ever before you TP back. So here you have decent recall for teleport. And you trade, and she's pretty low HP, so you'll have to bait her, or she'll have to TP back as well. It's not like she has a crash. Yeah, recalling now is. I mean, it achieves the same thing, but the thing is, you're just in a much riskier spot between those two waves that you had, and your recall is not particularly better, you know. So,
I probably should have TP back here, right?
yeah, like if you honestly, it's not the worst. You only lost like 4 minions, I think, or 5. Let's see. No, I think you only lost 3 minions, so I don't think it's worth TPing for.
Okay.
It's much better to make a play on the map potentially. Yeah, here slow pushing is good. Unlucky that lives. Here, I think you could have run bot. Like your bot wave is pretty good, I think. And Rel had like your bot lane has all sums. So I think here after you crush this wave, getting off a bot row move him, it's like a pretty opportune timer.
Okay.
And especially Rel has a control word. Just ask Rel to drop a control word and try. And then go for this play bot, because I think it's pretty guaranteed. Like your AD carry has fucking Dirk. He's gonna do a fuck ton damage. Your like tries me control words, so they aren't gonna have vision of you. So it seems like a pretty good play, even without package.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll call it there for early game on mid. We can take a look at top and out. Yeah, so I mean there you need to understand like if you're on cooldown and like Ornn is gonna have Q, the way that like there's no reason to space into him because he can just walk backwards and you're never gonna get an auto on him. So here as soon as if you like using your what is it, your E, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah, if you're using your either to farm and get those minions is fine. But when you do, you need to space like this way. Not space into him because then you're just gonna you get your bone plating product, lose like a chunk of HP. So it's just a spacing mistake, and it is actually pretty costly because it not only do you use bone plating, but you get chunked of it too. Yeah, that was fun. Good trade. There, ideally, you trade an auto back with him, but
Yeah, I'm just eating his Qs.
yeah, ideally, you either like there's 2 ways. If you need to stand closer to farm the minions, like if you're farming the minions, you need to stand a bit closer to him. Then you want to be clicking like this way, like horizontally back and forth, so you can ideally dodge the Q when it comes out. It's kind of like playing versus like Xerath or Lux or something. But if you don't need to farm or he's like staying further back, then you can just tether at the max range. So those are your 2 options. Like if you have to stand with like closer than max range, then you want to be clicking side to side. But if you're playing at max range, then you want to click back and forth.
Okay.
So you can just walk like back out of it. And that'll make it easier to dodge. And here, warding's pretty pointless. I mean, I guess like it's a Volibear, so there's like some chance that he just does some crackhead pathing and comes top, but 9 times out of 10, I'd say if their jungler is like playing Morgana or like any full clear jungler, then ward you just should save your ward because they're almost always gonna go they're just gonna do their top side and then go bot and they're almost never gonna stop top lane. So save your ward for later. because there's no gank timer there. But with Volibear, it's like one of those champs where he can do some fucking like Jarvan or like Rek'Sai pathing where he just does like his top side into top gank. So it's all the worst versus that champ. Yeah, so like here, instead of trading with him, your bigger focus, like trading him with him is fine if you can also ensure that you're getting the wave in. But here you can't really do both. So I mean, actually that was fine. Just as long you just need to understand that you need to get this wave in. So try and auto it as much as you can. Because here, if you're spending time training with him, like the problem is you spend so much time training with him that you're not able to crash before this next wave arrives. So it's good to try and chunk him before you recall theoretically, but if you're not able to do that and get your recall in, then it's better just to get the recall in, you know? Right. So here, focus more on crashing the wave and less on trading with him. Because if you can do both, like let's say you're playing like and let's say you're playing like Darius, and you can hit a Q that hits like him and the wave and guarantees your crash, then that's okay. But with Wukong, your abilities, I mean, like he's kind of AoE, but not really. Like you're only hitting like 1 or 2 minions if you're eating him, right? So just focus on getting the wave in more so than hitting him. If you're playing a champion with hard AoE like Darius, then yeah, it's a different story. But because now you're and you're on the map a lot longer than you want to be. And now Volibear is back top side, so you're at risk of getting ganked. So you see how, because you tried to take that trade with him, you never ended up like your recall is really bad here. It's like he pushes it, but you should lose more minions here. Whereas if you just crash and you recall, then you only lose like 1 minion.
I would have stayed if he like tried freezing it, but
yeah, he pushed back to you. But the point is like it's small. You like the way that he ended up doing it quite poorly, so he only lost like 4 minions. But if he does it, if you do it where you just crash instead of trying to trade with him, then you only lose like 1 minion to RNG. Sometimes you lose none. Depends. Yeah, that was a really good trade though. Here, if you can, I'm not sure what your gold was. We can look, but okay, never mind. I was gonna say get a control word. It's really nice for top lane when you're gonna be pushing like this in this matchup. If you have the gold for it, then always get a control word. And like sometimes you don't need to, but when you're playing versus like Volibear and Ornn, like Ornn's gonna be looking for an ult on you here soon. Follow up with Volibear, then having vision is nice. Yeah, here I would say big thing to look out for here as a team is Wukong has ult and TP, and probably with this trade you might even have TP advantage soon because Ornn might need to TP back to lane. So I mean, just anytime you have your Wukong with 6 and you're gonna have Pride like this, basically at this point one of your guys' wards should go in here, and then when this wave crashes, it's gonna bounce back, right? So on that bounce back, like 3 to 4 waves from now, when the wave's here, then you guys can look for Wukong to TP in. So it's nice that you didn't have to use teleport. Essentially, you can look for a bot play here. It's just farm post now.
This is like the first time I played Wukong in like months, so
yeah,
there was like a couple times where like my mechanics were like really bad.
Yeah.
I thought that I could hold a freeze there and then back, but he stayed and shoved it.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is, it's hard to see, but here you should like the thing I would do if I were you is on comms. It's kind of hard, but here basically the thing is you end up TPing, but your wave state is so shit because you ended up losing like that cannon this entire wave pretty much. So it's nice to see he's gonna end up getting Draken off of the back end of this play, but ideally if you don't have to TP here, then you don't TP here. So just kind of while you're looking, instead of just always like trying to match TP on your top laner, try and look and see because sometimes they're TPing, but it's in play and you don't need to match it.
Okay.
So here, just keep an eye out and see like, okay, do I actually need to come to this play? Because
I thought like the jungle
Yeah,
was caught
like-
out there, so I thought it was necessary.
yeah, but here like when Volibear ults out and you guys are 4v3, then I think you're fine here. Like as soon as if you're looking at this play and you see Volibear ult out, that's the moment when I would think like, okay, I probably don't need to TP. Especially if your bot lane rotating, you should be fine. Because here they end up getting this pick without you, and meanwhile you're missing a pretty big wave at top lane.
Okay.
So just look. Sometimes you need to match. A lot of times matching TP like that is good, but sometimes if like in that kind of a scenario, it can be bad. So it's just something to keep your eyes open. Yeah, that's good if you guys can get him. Oh. I think it's a bit risky. But here yeah, I mean I think the way this play is executed was just a bit slow. Like, you guys have well, first thing is vision. So here I'd probably drop like a control ward like here when you want to make this play, as well as spot any wards like in both these bushes basically, because for obvious reasons. So I'll drop a control ward here when you want to make this play because you don't have super. Obviously, if you have super, you can just pop super.
Yeah.
And then when you see that they're probably gonna int you guys, then I think calling Morgana over so that she is a bit faster on this play, because like here you guys kind of like they're just retarded and they think that they just assume that that Rel backed and again Varus is on his own. But here if they play a bit safer and they assume that you can see Jinx is playing a bit scared and then like she falls into Nami's delusions is kind of what it looks like. But if they both like here, the thing is they don't have any reason to be up, right? Because they already crashed the waves. They're here. They just need to. They can just play further back. But if Morg is a bit more ready, then they can get punished without having to misplay. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So here, like Morg, you should look, and you probably have time to do the big and medium Krug, but just don't finish the camp and come straight to the play. Especially since you have flash, you'll for sure kill them. But it's kind of like here. I'll show you guys a clip. I should find it 1 sec.
Upon reaching level 13 and completing the quest, it upgrades into this, which will increase your cap. And it increases your AP,
So it's like here.
AD, and health by 12. Wow.
It's kind of a similar idea. So here's like a LCK. That was a while ago, but I remember like you see how ruler here is like farming the wave here when he could be farming the wave here. Like if a ruler just like walked here and let the wave come into him, then he won't be really far up. So here you'll see like Def throws this Ash ult and he like insta cleanse. I paused, but he pixel perfect cleanses it. And he literally doesn't stop moving, and it's like holy shit, ruler's so nuts. He like fucking like insta pixel cleansed it, but it's actually like a misplay from him because if you just ate the wave here when he could have, then he didn't have to make that outplay. So it's kind of like it's actually more of a mistake than it is like an impressive outplay. It's kind of same here. Like here the enemy team, they're just blundering the fact that they're walking up when they don't have to. So instead of relying on them to make a mistake here, just make the play happen earlier with more rotating over and stuff.
So at what point was it supposed to rotate over? Like, did you want me to like go through river, flash over the wall, and R them, or
No. So like
Krugs.
you just instead of doing all your Krugs, like here you're staying for these Krugs. Here if you can just rotate either like if sometimes you might need to skip Krugs here, depending on the wave state. Like here you probably need to skip Krugs. Or at a minimum, like start pulling them really hard. This is like in between. It's hard to exactly say, but I would have probably just to guarantee the play, I would have skipped Krugs and just ran straight to this play. Because just like this timing, like your bot lane can hold this wave and force them to walk up for like 10 seconds here. So it's just really important that you're kind of available in this 10-second window. So when you're doing Krugs, you're obviously not available and you're not close enough to react to it. Or to punish them, I guess. So just walk up here and then go for this play. Like you can sit in this bush, and when they walk up to crash, then you can punish them a lot easier. It's just like in jungle, you a big thing that'll help you climb in jungle is asking yourself like, what do my laners want and what do their laners want? So like here, their laners really obviously want to crash the wave. So if you just literally prevent them from doing that or punish them for trying to do that, then they're gonna die here 9 times out of 10.
So the problem that I had with that was I would have gone in sooner, but the thing that I caught was if they stay longer, like if they overextend this, like I'll go because I wasn't too sure like what everything was where I didn't want to just like go and then like they just like back off, which I guess like is fine either way because we still get the freeze. But that was like my thought process behind it.
Yeah, the thing is either like here there's
the angle that I saw like earlier just like didn't like look right to me. That I felt like because they both have like flash, like if I just like walk there, they have like they're like fine like in proximity. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing here is like if the wave is really big and your bot lane wouldn't be able to hold it and threaten a freeze, then yeah, sure. Your logic is maybe right, where they can just like walk away. But the thing is, here they need this wave to crash. That's what they want, and like, or rather, what they need basically is for this wave to crash. Because if the wave doesn't crash, then they're fucked. So here, if you can be bot lane in this window of opportunity, that they have to ensure that something like there is going to be a 10-second window here where they physically are either going to lose a fuck ton of gold because your bot lane is allowed to freeze, or they're gonna die because you're here to punish them. So if you can be in that spot in that window, then that's how you win games, right? So here, if in that window where they're basically forced to be like in this area, you can be there to punish them, and it's GG. So here you're there, but it's just a bit like slow because the wave already crashed, so they're not required to be up here. So you need to time it better, and if that means skipping your Krugs, then it means skipping your Krugs, because your Krugs are just not worth like a double kill or blowing double sums or whatever. Oh, another thing, on Varus, why did you go Duskblade?
It's because I was like thinking they have a lot of tanks, and I probably need a lot more rotations of spells. That's my thinking of going that. Like I just wanted the ability haste.
You're still gonna, even with the ability haste, you're gonna do more DPS, just because of the absurd amount of lethality that you get from Prowler's Claw.
Okay.
Like once you get two, three items, you're just me doing more damage with the prowlers. Especially like the way lethality of Varus works, if you can land a couple arrows on their backline and just ignore their front line, because you have Corki to deal with like with Ornn and Volibear. So if you can just like land poke on their backline, then they're not gonna be able to play the game. So
Okay.
it's very, very rare, I think, for Duskblade to be better. Prowler's broken as fuck. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, that was a good play. And here, I forget who said it, but it's just like it was really small, and it's not flame, but it's just in general like a big thing to focus on is like clarity of comms for competitive. It's pretty important. So whenever something happens, you just have to call it out like once or twice. Like so, here somebody I forget who it was. It doesn't matter who it was. The individual case doesn't matter. Everyone does it. But somebody was like, "Oh, Nami doesn't have flash. Nami doesn't have flash. Nami doesn't have flash. Nami doesn't have flash." You just need to say it like once or twice, and because that way there might be other things that are happening on the map that need to get communicated. If you're just saying the same thing over and over, and everyone like the first time maybe somebody didn't hear you, so saying it like once or twice is fine. But then after that, just keep comms like open. It's a small thing, but it helps a lot with clarity.
I think the main issue we've been having is like we say comms, but no one listens. So we're just trying to get in the habit of like repeating it.
Well, also, you guys constantly say that like you can't hear me, so I'm making sure you hear me.
I mean, saying it like everyone should hear you if you say it twice. If people aren't hearing you because they're saying it twice, then I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, you guys should be able to hear. If somebody says something twice clearly on comms, everyone should hear it by that point. And most of the times, most things on comms are only said once. Like, if I say, "Oh, like Ornn doesn't have TP," I'm not gonna say that 3 times like that. And you guys should really hear it after once. So just make sure you're paying attention to comms. There's not much else to be said there. Comms are really important, but they're often really poorly utilized. So it's just important that you guys are communicating information that everyone needs to know, like timers of stuff or like roam timers that your laners have, whatever. It's important that you guys are communicating that and communicating it clearly. And so, like, if you got the thing is like a problem that might be happening is if you guys are saying too much on comms, then it's causing you to like maybe like shut it out. If like too much useless shit is being said on comms, then yeah, you guys probably aren't paying attention to it. So just keep comms clear for the things that matter, and then you guys will pay attention to it, right? There should really be no need to like say the same thing 5 times. I mean, Wing there is pretty shit. Like, I think you need to in this matchup, you need to save W. I'm pretty much for R, or if you think like if you think you're gonna get hit by E, but you need to be pretty reactive. I don't know. What's your ping?
It's pretty low.
Yeah. So then, like, you should just play around reacting to her E or her R, and so like you can't just like W out like that. Especially versus Volibear, you can get punished for it really easily.
Okay.
How do I pull up? Is it N? Yeah. Okay. Is package up? Or is it bug?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. It was bad. I
Yeah,
should
here you
have
should for sure
taken
take back.
package here.
I answered like really important. His drag's up in a minute, so yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
not
like,
even-
it's up in like a bit, and I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, I gotta take package here afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty bad for you to like. Because here you're gonna come mid, push out one wave, then recall, take package, and teleport. Like it's just a huge waste of time and
Yeah.
resources, right? So now you just don't have package for drag. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
if you're playing packageless Corki, then it's not. It went from being a bad champion to being like fucking uber dog shit terrible, right? So.
Mhm. Yeah. For sure.
What? Flashless packageless Corki is even worse.
Yeah. That's
I've actually done that twice in the last like 2 days, so I don't blame you. I keep like a
Funny because
keep,
I
like-
like almost end up dying here. Cause of
yeah,
it.
I keep like S keying for fun before I'm doing my camps, and I accidentally my finger slips and hits D. It's happened like twice. Well, yeah, Morgana is balanced. Kick W.
Mhm.
Who needs flash when you've got a Morgana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, here. Whoops. Here, I don't like doing Rift Herald. I think Rift Herald is pretty fucking useless past past 14 minutes once or like past 13 minutes for Ziska, right? Since you need some time to drop it and get the plates. But yeah, like if you can't get plates with Rift, then it's kind of useless. And here, if you were to recall, then you'd be perfectly set up to do full clear. So the only time that I like doing Rift past 20 minutes is if you like imagine here, whenever you did whatever play, you recalled, you cleared all your camps. Now all your camps are gone, and you have like the prio or tempo to do this, then that's a different story. But doing Rift Herald when all your camps are up like this, it's a big waste of time. Especially when you're so far ahead, it gives you like nothing. Just if anything, just drop a ward on it so that they can't get it if you're really concerned about that, and then they can never do it.
Yeah.
But now, like, see how much resources like even Rel roams up top lane, and Varus like could potentially like let's say Volibear is bot lane here. Varus could be getting dove and losing a fuck ton of like these like double stacked waves, just because you're doing this Rift Herald on like a bad timer. So it's just like the thing is Rift Herald is it's a fair bit of risk, and when plays are down, it's very little reward. Whereas camps are super consistent gold and XP, right? So it's just here if Rel can cover Varus and you can be farming your camps, you're just much better off. Here's an important thing when you guys are pushing like this. Like here, like Seraphine has ult, and we think that Volibear, we were playing it earlier, that Volibear's bot side. So it's really important that you guys sweep these bushes behind you when you're pushing like this to make sure that you guys aren't going to get like
We
TP'd
did.
on, right?
We did.
You did? Okay, perfect.
I mean, like they dropped that one word, but that's after I saw.
Yeah,
it.
that's fine. Yeah. And at this point, you guys are so far ahead. I think you guys know how to close out a game when you're 7k gold ahead at 15 minutes. So we can just watch the other game.
You'd be surprised.
Well, we'll cross our fingers. Okay. So this game. Okay. So this game, Poppy. I think. Okay, so this game. The thing is, top lane, it's melee versus melee, so it'd be nice to help your like whenever it's melee versus melee, it's very like it's a fist fight, right? So it's always helpful to get your laner ahead. The thing is, both laners have TP, so getting a kill it helps, but it's not going to be the end of the lane. If that makes sense. Whereas if I'm Zach here, I'm just thinking about Zach from Zach's perspective. I for sure am gonna path towards bot lane because it's a lot harder. It's a lot more of their win con. So I think that making sure that your bot lane is safe in your first clear, and then after that playing for top, or just like I would first clear, I would path towards bot, make sure that they're not gonna get shown by Zach, and then after that I would like on my second recall, then I'd maybe look for something top and then keep playing through bot. If that makes sense. Mid lane is just kind of it's gonna be more of like a ceiling matchup potentially. For sure, it's a bit risky for Ori. With like it's gonna be pretty easy for Zach to land his combo off of Lissandra. But I think that with Phase Rush and Flash and Cleanse, Ori should be relatively safe, so I wouldn't be too worried. So yeah, here if I was Poppy, I would start top, and then path to bot, and then eventually, if you can get top ahead at some point, it'd be nice. But you should outscale Wukong anyways, so. Here one thing, I'd potentially be a bit afraid of getting invaded topside here. Like, if I think I've just been very afraid of getting invaded in general. So I think that dropping a ward like here on your red, like what I would just do is I would walk straight out of Fountain, and then as soon as like basically just insta ward here, and then you can back and swap to sleeper. That's what I do this game. And if your bot lane can spare it, then I think having a ward here would be nice as well. Because I think with Leo, Kaisa, they have a pretty strong, and like Lissandra can flash W, whatever, Zach E. I think they have a pretty good, they can definitely look to invade you guys here. So. Yeah, so here, like I said, basically we should have seen that he did the Wukong leash.
Yeah, he leashed.
Okay, yeah, so we should have seen that that Zach started topside. So like I said, basically he's gonna play for bot, which is what he's doing. He's playing correct. What the fuck? That's not it. But basically we should see that alright, like I said, in champ select, my thought process there is if I'm Zach, I play to bot. So as Poppy, I think that covering there would have been nice, because as long as your bot lane doesn't get dicked like early by Zach, you should be in a good spot. What is happening? Yeah, here I just think it's gonna be really hard for you guys to gank Liss, because it's fucking just gonna E out. So I think I would have rather you just pop the blasting cone thingy and seen that his wolves and Gromp are up, and then taken. I think you can for sure take Gromp. Taking wolves is a bit risky because it's pretty deep, but I'd for sure start with Gromp and then see if he shows up on any vision or stuff. Like, you do it, but the fact that it's so delayed, it just makes things like the longer you take on these kinds of invades, the riskier it gets. So. Plus, you're wasting tempo here. It's kind of like the same thing with last game. The fact that you stop here to try and gank mid when the gank probably wasn't going to work, and then go here means that you're not going to have time to defend your Gromp. Because here, let's say potentially with the delayed respawn timers and everything, it could be where like if you just go straight from the from the crab to Gromp and then recall, then by the time Zach ganks bot and then goes for your Gromp, you'll actually be able to defend it versus like if you gank mid and then do it, then you won't have time, right? So just making sure that if you're going for ganks like that, they're really guaranteed. I think reverse swing here is fine. But like I said, I think unless you're afraid here that Zach took your bot side, which you shouldn't be, because I think oh, that's their word. Never mind. But I think
I mean, I
Do we
checked
see
his
Zach-
Gromp.
Yeah, we
Okay,
call
yeah, if you turn
the
it Gromp, then
Gromp out.
here for sure. Like I said, I think it's much more efficient. Here's the timing just works out really awkward if you do like 1, 2, and then 3, 4. Like you're gonna try and look mid or something. But if first of all, if mid's not gankable, then you literally have nothing to do. And if mid is gankable, or sorry, even if mid's gankable, then by the time you finish your mid gank, your Raptors still aren't up. So it's just a bit inefficient. So here, if your Wolves and Gromp are up, I would just do them. I guess now the problem with doing it this way is next time you reset and you start Gromp and Raptors, you're gonna have to wait a long time before your Wolves and Gromp are up, right? So again, it's just the timing works out really awkward when you do split up clears like this. And here, going for this is just really, really. I mean, they were slow to rotate, but you should just realize that when your bot lane doesn't have prio, your mid lane doesn't have prio, you're just not gonna have the ability to do this crab, and you should just give it up. Yeah, I mean that's fine. I see here now you do like Raptor. It's just your clear ends up being a bit messy. Yeah, this is fine. But here, after you get this, I'd pretty much be. What I would do here is after you get this, the thing you want to be looking for is like towers that are low. So obviously the first thing I checked is mid and bot, because those are the order kind of goes like mid, bot, top in what you'd want to ideally rift Herald. But if the only tower that's like this low is top, then you can just drop it top. It's still decent. So here I would just coordinate with your mid laner so that you can, or your top laner, I mean rather, for him to start pushing out this wave. You go do Krugs, and then by the time he crashes, you come top. All you have to do is auto this like a couple times and then drop Rift, and you guys will one shot the tower. Redo this again. Okay, make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, did Wukong have a Rift Herald? Or Viego, I mean?
No, Poppy had it.
I should just walk up and I'm blind. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You just want to make sure that you're talking about that as you're doing it. Okay, we can look at laning phase now.
All right. Okay, usually like before I go into lane, I kind of think about this thing where like I think about like the 1v1 like potential of like the enemy versus me.
If they're cheesing the switch, you mean?
Yeah. Like the only times like the enemy will cheese is because like they feel like they're superior 1v1, which in this case they are.
Like 2v2, you mean, yeah?
2v2, yeah. 2v2. Yeah, 2v2 like it's just so easy for them if they get
Yeah.
the stun on me. Like I usually think about that, and like I'm always like trigger happy with my ward for this one. For this
never
wish,
li-
like,
I never liked walking through river, through lane.
I mean, there's just no point. Just walk this way.
Yeah.
okay.
That's the first thing I told Robbie. Right? It's like, nah, it doesn't.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to. Like, you don't get any advantage through walking through river.
Yeah.
Just end your leash like 1 second sooner. Because going like this is barely slower than walking through river, like maybe 1 second. Just go go this way, take like that extra second, and you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do from now on.
Because it just eliminates a lot of risk. Also, did I talk to you guys about dropping like a ward here, level 1, like before laning phase, and then recalling?
Yeah.
Super?
I think
Yeah.
you told us last time,
A long time
Uh,
ago, and then I don't think we.
and then we.
I don't know if I don't know if he told us.
Yeah, I think
But I
it's,
know like high Korean Elo
yeah,
players.
I think it's for sure really nice in this matchup because I think Leo, if she's good, she's gonna be playing a lot in this bush and trying to look for like for an engage, and she's probably gonna end up warding. They're probably gonna end up warding either this push or this push at some point. So I think looking for having both having sweeper and having an early ward there is good. So
Wait, both having sweeper?
No,
but I'm saying dropping this ward and then having the fact that it'll allow you to have sweeper because you recall and swap sweeper
Oh, okay,
is
no,
good
yeah.
for your lane.
Yeah, no. I heard like you said both having sweeper, so I'm like, wait, ADC supposed
No,
to have
I meant
sweeper.
like both elements of the.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
This did not feel good. I should have been the one punishing her.
Yeah.
well, you have no flash. We can't really do much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the level 1 just messed it up. If the level one like went properly, like then I would have been able to like zone her out because my attack range is higher than hers.
I mean, you also just have a better level 1 because a lot of Kai'Sa's damage comes from getting isolated Qs, but she's never gonna get level 1. Whereas your damage just comes from getting like an auto E off, which is gonna be like it doesn't matter if you're in minions or not.
Yeah, the level 1 basically just was doomed.
I feel like you could have not hit that minion.
Which one?
That melee minion that just died
I mean, it was under tower, no?
because you autoed it.
What do you mean?
Like if you look at it, it's
All right, let's see.
aggroing me. It just makes it a slower push.
Which one?
That one.
I think that one that just walked forward.
Yeah, like it was aggroing you, but then it never would have stayed on you. Like it will always crash, and if I didn't auto attack that, then I miss it. Because
mean,
I needed 2 auto attacks to kill it.
It's not.
It's really
not,
small, like dude, like that.
It's
That's not even matter.
I mean, I don't even think it aggroed onto him because of an auto or anything. It's just the way it's because like where the minions are.
Yeah, it's just minion RNG.
But it's not really a big deal in this. Yeah, like
Right here is criminal.
So like the thing that you guys were talking about, how like you want to be punishing their bot lane early, it's gonna be a lot harder to do that if you guys end up doing that, and it's a lot harder for you guys to do that because Poppy's topside, right? So that's why I was talking about level 1. It's important for you guys to communicate like this game that Poppy ends up heading down, so that because then you guys can trade the way you want to more aggressively. But with Poppy being topside, even if you didn't blow your flash level 1 and take that bad trade, you would have had a pretty rough time trying to trade into them, because if you take like an even or even slightly winning trade, that's kind of bad, because then Zach's just gonna come and gank you and then you're fucked.
Yeah.
But the wave here is good for you guys. The wave here is good for you guys because unless Zach just AFKs in this bush for the next like minute, then you're fine.
Yeah. I mean, like we were anticipating a gank of Zach, but we didn't think like he'd come from like all the way behind.
Yeah.
I think we even warded. Yeah, we ward like this bush just in case. But then he takes a really good like I'd say it's a better path from him than bad blunder from us. Like right here, for me, I was walking up a little bit because like I knew that if I can't crash it here, then they'll be able to just get a free freeze, and I
mean-
can't do anything. Like that's why. I was
And the thing is,
panicking.
you're sitting on 2 wards, and we know that Zach is going to go like we know that Zach's playing top to bot, right?
Mhm.
So you'll see in a lot of like pro games, very often they'll ward like this bush. So I think that after that, like there was this time when after they crashed the wave, you cleared it right, and that it starts bouncing back. Like when those waves meet, that wave that it's bouncing back.
Mhm.
If on that wave you go and you ward up here, so that way it gives you 2 things. First of all, it protects you from any kind of like. First of all, they could have not done it like this. They could have done it where they just pushed and then tower dove you, right?
Mhm.
So it protects you. That ward will protect you from a tower dive. It also protects your jungler's top side. Because remember how I said we don't know if he's going for this Gromp or not. But then he would end up seeing him like later. But anyways, if you just ward here now, not now, but like 30 seconds
I mean,
ago,
yeah, I understand.
then it would help you from getting dove. It would help you. It would prevent. Obviously, this is like kind of a niche like Zach thing, but actually, it's not that uncommon for like I did this today where like I was playing.
I mean, like I guess a Jarvan can also do it.
Yeah, well, I was just playing.
Jarvan,
I was playing like Diana or something. I was playing Diana, and I was here, and they were like where you guys were, and I just like flashed over and then killed them,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
So it's not-
Theoretically, every jungler. can do
Yeah,
that.
almost every jungler can do this. So like they just need flash. So it's not really that. Like obviously Zach can E over, but I mean here it's almost better for him to like flash and then E you guys. But it doesn't matter. It's just in general, if you guys are afraid of like being isolated versus their jungler because of the like your junglers on opposite sides and you guys are ISO, then just warding here is going to protect you from a lot of bullshit.
Like this, yeah.
Yeah, like this, like him invading your guys' bot side, like him tower diving you. So all these scenarios can be prevented with that ward.
Yeah.
And you're sitting on 2, so
Yeah, I mean, like that thought didn't like come on my mind like at all. Like I knew that Zach
Like,
was looking for a
um,
gank, but
Like when Leona started walking up, I knew we were getting ganked.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, like even I knew like that was a dangerous situation. That's why like I was like, all right, I have a ward right there. If he comes, like I can probably get out.
Yeah.
But he came
Well-
from the other side.
Well, now you know for next
Yeah.
time.
hmm
I mean, it's kind of known. Like Zach will gank from.
We'll talk about the gank. It's more about like understanding this ward timer
Yeah,
and why
yeah.
it's important. Yeah.
hmm
Good cue.
Mm-hmm.
And there again, it's like same thing that I was talking to the top laner about. When you're playing versus champs like with like vertical skill shots like this, you have 2 options: either playing at their max range and tethering back and forth, or like it's gonna be harder because Lysander's Q is pretty wide. So if you here, I'll just stand outside the minions because there's no reason to let him hit both you and the minions with the Q.
Yeah.
And if he splashes with the minions, on Lysander. It extends the range, right? So it's gonna be a lot harder to dodge for staying behind minions. And here,
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, like my trading was pretty suboptimal this game.
yeah. So here, like he hits you with Q, but now you're off cooldown, and he's coming, and he's on cooldown, right? So this click backwards is bad because you should be punishing him for the fact that he's like he either has to give up control of the lane or by walking backwards, or you punish him because he tries to contest, right? But either way, there's no reason for you to be clicking backwards here because he's on cooldown and you're off cooldown, right? So you should kind of walk up and try and hit him with a Q. But you should never really want to stand so far left because we know that their jungler starts top and your jungler started right side. So there's no reason for you to like. Or if Zach were to ever do anything right now, it would be he'd be like eing over this way. And if your jungler were to ever, if you ever needed to run your jungler, you need to run this way, right? So it's always gonna be better for you to stand right pocket here. So, and especially like you were letting him force you over to the left side when he was on cooldown. So it's just really awkward that you're letting him do that to you when you should be the one in control in that situation, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, getting hit with all these Qs doesn't help. Like a lot of these combos are gonna be like sometimes you can only land QW, but if you land an auto, it's gonna be a lot better for you're gonna get phase rush and it's gonna make it a lot easier to space rush him. Like sometimes if you're landing at max range, then obviously you're not gonna be able to. It's still good damage and you're not gonna be able to land an auto. But here, if you QW auto, you'll get phase rush and then you might be able to sidestep that Q. But then you just let him space 2 autos on you. So it's just like I think honestly you'd working on this kind of stuff, you just benefit with like going practice tool versus like your top laner or something, or maybe your AD carry, and just doing a bit of like laning exercises. Because here you're just getting outspaced. Like the fact that he gets 2 autos on you like that, it's just you just need to work on it, you know.
For sure.
Well, that's just int. Yeah, that was good. I think going for that minion is crazy risky. Like here you had a little window because this guy was afraid of Poppy, but after you get that, just sack this minion and then just TP. Oh, you don't even have TP. I mean, you just have to say fuck it and recall.
Yeah.
Because being in lane with this HP versus Liss, who has flash, and Zac, it's just suicide.
Yeah.
So it's kind of you're punished for your mistakes, but you have to waiting this long to recall. Yeah, so like he's gonna cancel it. You should just after you get those 2 minions that you were allowed to because of Poppy, you just need to walk back to like here and then instant channel recall.
Should I have asked like Poppy to help bail me out, or is
I
it
don't
like
think it's
too?
I don't think it's possible. It's too big of a wave. It would take forever, and Zac can help stop it. So you just don't like.
Okay.
She can help bail you out if it's like 2v1, but Zac, we know that Zac's on bot crab, so he can come help stop, and you're just too low to do anything. So
Yeah.
You just have to accept the loss. But if you do it sooner, then you lose less minions because like he wouldn't have time to crash this wave full. Like you might be able to get back in time for cannon if you just did it when I told you to.
Yep.
It's like hot as balls in my room. I'm gonna go turn the AC on. I'll be back in like 20 seconds. All right, I'm back. Sorry.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, and that was honestly, I think I just think part of the thing that makes this lane so hard for you is that you start Darksteel. I think, like, given their team comp and given this lane, and given Ori's like mana problems, I think going Darksteel is pretty greedy. Like too much so. Plus, you don't even have biscuits. What did you take?
I took Cosmic Insight Futures Market.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But if you're gonna do that, you for sure either need to like start tier or you can start corrupting. But going Darksteel is like way too greedy because you see how it makes your lane really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 2 refill potions aren't enough, especially when she gets to start deering.
Okay.
Doesn't give you enough value.
That reset there is fine, right?
Yeah, that was fine.
Okay.
All right, let's do the same thing we did. Go back to top lane. Good auto. Good. All right, so here that you're like walking back really far for no reason. You cleared all 3 minions, right? So meanwhile he has to he's about to last hit this one, and you have Q up. So just Q him whenever he goes for that minion.
Okay.
And if he you win level 1 for sure. It's like Viego's level 1 is really absurd with passive. So if he tries to fight you, like I'm pretty sure you start. If I had to guess, I haven't played this matchup, but I've played a bit of Viego and I've played versus Wukong, so I feel like my intuition would be that you probably win levels 1 and 2, but then level 3 he probably beats you. So here you really shouldn't be afraid of him eating onto you level 1. So you did good to stagger the minions like the way you did with that auto and picking them up here, but then once you like here you can't punish him because you have minions to auto, but this minion, it's like the perfect opportunity for you to hit him with a Q.
Okay.
Doesn't Wukong win level 1 with like his E attack speed?
Diego is pretty broken. I think with the healing from his Q, pretty sure he wins.
Yeah.
Like he does 2% current physical health, so he does a lot of damage like level 1 because it does the like our percentage of your current health, right? So and he also restores all that damage. So I think level 1 he wins.
Okay.
Especially Viego's Q is much lower cooldown. It's 5 seconds compared to Wukong's E is like 10. So he'll be able to get 2 Qs out in the time that it takes Wukong to get one E out. Yeah, see. And here you're playing too safe. Like you have level 2 advantage, so you should be playing like a pussy because you should on him. Like if he's level 1, you're level 2, then you for sure should on him. So here, instead of autoing this minion from this side, you can auto it from here, right?
Yeah.
So here I'd be trying to like obviously you shouldn't give this minion just to zone him, but you can auto this minion from here and then walk down and punish him further. If he tries to fight you, then he's gonna take creep aggro and you're level 2, so you for sure win. But now he's level 2, and yeah, I still think you win, but it's a bit closer. But no reason for him not to be like free to be playing back when you have the level advantage. There, I would just get that with an auto. Like, there's no reason for you to have to queue this. You just walk up and auto it, and then now when you're on cooldown, it gives Wukong now he has an opportunity to like to E and then like W out or something. It's a lot harder for you to punish him. But so there's no reason to put yourself on cooldown when you can achieve the same thing with an auto.
I also like don't know my limits very well on Viego, so I'm a little scared to like play aggressive
fair enough.
sometimes.
His level 1 and 2 are really impressive. I think you have to realize that the advantages of like the big advantages that Viego has in matchups is his Q cooldown is absurdly low, and he has no mana costs. Whereas Wukong, if he tries to keep trading with you, then he'll run into mana problems. Plus, you have healing built in from your Q, so you outsustain him as well. And so, just generally early game, you'll end up having the advantage. if he manages, like you play Wukong, you know, if he gets like his like full clone damage on you, then you start running into trouble. But yeah, so here you need to be, you need to make sure the wave crashes. Yeah. Very good. Here I would just recall. You can basically cheat her. It's like on a normal wave, but you can just cheat her there.
Okay.
The reason why you can recall there is because you should realize that Poppy started bot side and Zach started top side, right? So here you don't need to hang around to help your jungle rock because he doesn't need help because Zach's on bot crab, right?
Yeah.
So your jungler can just do whatever she wants, and then you can do your own thing top lane. It's a bit of a different story if you need help or if your jungler needs help contesting crab. Right now you're in a really good spot in lane. So here I'll just be training pretty aggressively. Like here you need to realize he is down HP on you. He is he only has. You need to realize that if he goes for like a full trade with you, his like even if you lose the trade by a little bit of health, like let's say that you managed to do like 200 damage to him and he managed to do like 150 damage to you, or sorry, the other way around I meant. If you managed to do 150 damage to him and he does 200 to you, then his mana at the end of like his full combo is gonna be like here, right?
Yeah.
So if you just do one more trade with him, then lane's pretty much over and he has to TP. Because he just won't be able to trade with you anymore. So here, if you go, like, you just force a trade with him, it's so good for you.
Okay.
Yeah, see, look, he W'd out, and now he's already, like, boom. Yeah, that's a good W. He literally can't play the game. So here, just let the wave push back to you. Don't auto like this. There's no reason. Because, like, here, Zach,
I think I was just
he
trying to
reached...
sub again.
Yeah, but you shouldn't, because Zach, at this point we're worried about him being back topside, right? And not only is are we worried about him being back topside, but if you keep pushing Wukong under tower, you can basically just like kind of free farm, and even though he's maybe he'll miss some minions, he can get a majority of the XP, and he can get a lot of the minions, maybe not all of them because it's hard to farm on your own. But regardless, you're not punishing him as much as if you just let the wave come into you, and then you just hold the wave here, and then he for sure is forced to TP, and then but you don't have to TP yet. So what you can do is he'll end up TPing back. You can trade with him, and then you use your TP, and now he's in lane with like this much HP, and you're full HP, and you have a better recall than him.
Yeah.
But here, no reason to keep pushing. Just let the wave come into you. And you're also just staying too far back. Like, you need to understand, especially now, like, you're level 6, he's level 5, and he's He can't breathe in your direction without dying. You're like Jesus on the Rift at this point. You're untouchable.
I guess I just underestimate his power.
Yeah, he's really oppressive. So, and you don't have to understand, it's not a matter of Viego's power. It's a matter of any champion that's like 90% HP versus an opponent who has like an ability to use all of his abilities nonstop because you don't have resources. Or I mean, it'd be the same thing if you're like, let's say you're full mana, versus an opponent who has literally enough mana for like 1 Q and he's missing 30% of his HP bar, right? So you should understand like the dynamic of the matchup. It's not a matter of like knowing your champs limits. Yeah, it's not like Viego, it's just laning. Now for sure recall. Yeah, it's just important that you like instant recall there, because this one W of damage doesn't really do very much, but you could potentially miss some minions and may prevent like your timing for getting a freeze is gonna be worse here. I mean, you break the freeze for no reason.
Yeah,
Just
I
keep the
guess
freeze there.
I feel like I was kind of autopiling this game.
Yeah.
I kind of do that a lot whenever I'm like playing a new champion because I like focus like on their abilities a lot more than other things.
Yeah, but like when it comes to like this, there's There's not many abilities to throw out when he's not in the lane, right? It's just a matter of like understanding your advantage right now.
Yeah.
Just freeze. Just freeze forehead. Okay. We can look at more mid game stuff. Oh my god, it's an NARM.
I don't think I saw that TP.
Oh, that was a. Oh, that's unlucky.
We definitely called the Wukong TP.
Yeah. We called the Wukong TP, but we didn't say where.
Well, we didn't see one.
Yeah, we were like Wukong TP, so I'm like, all right, I need to play back. I didn't know I was walking up to Wukong. Okay, Wukong flashed it. That's why I missed my ulti.
Overall, it worked out pretty well for you guys.
Yeah. How behind am I? I don't think
Very.
I should be pretty behind. Yeah,
Yeah, but
not too bad. But I don't think I want to be equal to Kaisa.
yeah, I mean, ideally.
Mm.
Yeah, and that was a good dive. Here I would have, yeah, you should have insta TP'd. It was a bit slow. So you missed a bunch of minions there when you're gonna TP anyways, right?
Yeah,
I think
dude,
here, like,
I lost so much over here. I think I lost
Yeah.
like three to four minion waves. Like I think this is what like just pushed me out of the game.
and so Rel, like, there's good roam timers and there's bad roam timers.
I got called to Rift.
To what?
I got called by Kumiho to go to Rift.
Yeah, but like I said, there's no reason. So,
Yeah.
and it's just a team thing. Like I said earlier, there's no reason. Like, there's very little incentive for doing Rift after 14 minutes. So here, doing Rift and trading, like, look how much resources your 80 carries losing for this. Just for a team thing, and like it's not like said it was a call. Just a team like in general, the team shouldn't be calling to do Rift if like it's not. The only time that Rift should be done is if all our camps are like almost all of them, like if just Krugs are up, it's fine, right? But if almost all our camps are done and it's not gonna, we don't have to like have half the team drop like waves and rotate in order to make it happen. If just like the jungler can solo it, or maybe if jungler and support can like, let's say that your you guys had lane swapped and like your 80 carries mid lane and your mid and like both mids are bot lane, and then all it takes is like the support roaming over while the 80 carries safe farming mid, then that's like one thing. But doing stuff like this is like the epitome of like a bad Rift Herald. So
Yeah, I mean, I may not agree with the call, but I got.
yeah, I'm just saying it's like I'm just saying I'm not coaching like you guys individually. I'm coaching the team, right? So as a team, like I'm just saying you guys should know like the 2 games in a row we're doing these Rift Heralds that are a bit like suboptimal. So just keep it in mind and you just have to understand that like the value that Rift Herald gives is really like one tower is like you get for this tower I think you get like 250 gold, right? Now keep in mind that 250 gold is being split up by like the support who we don't really care about resources being on and the jungler and the mid laner, right? Whereas here are kind of like one of the most important champions for us to have ahead, the 80 carry, is losing that same amount of gold in minions, and you guys are going to be losing the tower bot lane, which is like now you're trading that same amount of gold. So you're effectively losing gold for taking the Rift Herald, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's not worth it. So
Yeah.
Good pick. I mean, 2 for 1, but could be worse.
Mm.
At this
I
point, you
call-
guys are still in a pretty good spot.
I was like calling too, like the bot lane is coming, like it's gonna be a disadvantageous team fight.
I think it would have been fine if I just played that better.
Okay.
My positioning was really abysmal.
I just missed Kaisa.
A nice pick.
That was a really good deny there, by the way, Kiyomiya. I thought I was gonna have to ulti or something. The
I
Zac
got lucky.
lucky, really? I mean, you could have just taken the compliment. Come on, man.
I got lucky.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's pure
Actually.
luck.
Yep.
Oh, that's so unlucky from the Oriole.
I think I struggled a lot with like target priority in this fight.
Who said that?
Our
Ori?
mid laner. Ori.
Okay, yeah. I agree. I think like that's what I was looking here. Like I think here the problem is you're trying to combo like a full health list when the rest of your team is kind of like all going on here, and this guy's pretty much dead, so just ignore him, right? So you kind of here. If I'm you, I would be much more focused on trying to like coordinate around here, because basically what Liz is gonna do here is she's just gonna follow him and kill him. So if you can salvage what's going on here, I think you're gonna get a lot more value. If you can potentially land like maybe a 2-man ult here, or just in general shielding and giving more of your resources in this fight in this area, then you're gonna get a lot more value. It's just generally in team fights, it's just a general rule of thumb. Like trying to make a bigger kind of point out of the situation. You're gonna get more value in team fights when you're playing a champion like Ori. Like some champions, if I'm playing Kha'Zix, right, then yeah, maybe I'm gonna go for like an individual pick on like a backline champ. But when you're playing Ori, a lot like most of your value is gonna be coming from landing clutch ults and getting shielding and move speed on like your carries and your teammates. So it's kind of you can't really like you have to resist the urge to tunnel vision on like individual players who are inting. Sometimes
So-
you're gonna get more out of playing for the team.
Yeah. So you're saying that it's like a waste to like try to salvage Viego when he's like almost already dead and like gonna be useless in the fight?
Yeah, pretty much. I think here you would get a lot more value from playing around your bot lane.
Yeah. I mean, like basically, is like if you have other options, like better options there, like it's better to go
Yeah.
there.
Depends. Like here my point is like if let's say I'm playing from your perspective, right? As my perspective, or like here, like I would hope that here you see that okay, like you would pan your camera over something like this, and I mean we can toggle fog for just your team. So here, I'd hope that you pan your camera over and you see like okay, here Viego, maybe he manages to like flash out and live or something. Maybe he's dead. But here I see like my
AD
support
carry.
is my support is getting a pick on their ADC. The AD carry is getting engaged on, and I need to try and help peel him. And my even more like not only is my support getting a pick on them, but hopefully you're aware of the fact that like even your jungler is trying to get a flank on their AD carry. So I think here like trying to focus on your focus right now should be like what's the focus of the fight. And in my opinion, the focus of the fight isn't like the Viego here. It's more of like trying to clean up here. I think if Viego dies and you guys kill their AD carry and support, then you guys are in a pretty good spot.
I think like in the heat of the moment, I kind of wasn't able to fully like distinguish apart like the characters, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
I
sure.
can't really tell exactly like which character is
I
like.
just think I think more generally then at least I would say try and get more value out of your ult than just getting a one man Oriole. Like yeah, if it's like let's say the one man Oriole is on their 80 carry who's like fed and it's gonna kill them, then yeah, like obviously that every ruler is an exception. But getting like a one man Oriole that isn't even gonna end up killing this list, it's just not enough value. Especially like Liz, if she has ult, she can your ult animation's pretty slow, so she can ult your ult, right?
Mhm.
So it's just here. I would say the general thing that I would think of is like try and get more value out of your ult. Here potentially, maybe what I would consider doing is like QWing here so that she maybe isn't able to chase Viego if he just runs out, and then like shielding your Varus, and then playing more around this fight, like I said. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like general team fighting stuff, and it applies to everybody. It's not just about Ori. It's more of like thinking about how everyone functions in a team fight. Yeah, like there, like see, like you spent time trying to like, you're really trying to like auto the half HP list down to death when you could be like doing more here, you know?
Mhm.
That's all I'm in. Ah, that's unlucky. So like right now, you helped, or you literally kept her all alive. Well, at least if Wuhan wasn't there. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I remember that.
What is that poppy damage? Jeez.
That's Poppy.
Dark Harvest with Thunder. Oof.
This game was really unfortunate. I didn't know like we were that much up like a little bit before.
It's all top lane, I think, and maybe jungle.
I think I also like caught up.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's-
this was like so unfortunate. Like I think she would have died if I could have landed my Q there. Maybe I should have like held on to my Q a little bit longer.
Yeah, I also could have R'd the Kaisa to kill her, but I don't know. I thought she was dead for sure.
I mean, yeah, you guys just need to be. The thing you need to realize here is like timers. So when you guys go for this drag, like they're already all starting to respawn. So you understand like where are they gonna run to? Well, like maybe if I'm their top laner, I'm considering TPing to this wave. But if the rest of the team is walking straight mid, maybe like one person, like probably two people walking mid, their jungler's probably walking like this, seeing if he can test drag, and like their mid laner or something is probably walking bot, right? So if you're there, basically what I mean is all their team and even their mid laner is they're probably walking through jungle, right? Basically what you understand is like their entire team is going to be in this vicinity as you guys are finishing drag. So you guys need to understand when you go for plays, before you go for a play, one of the things that you need to kind of cross your mind is what's my window for this play. Some plays you pretty much have like an unlimited window. Like if shit breaks out, then no one on their team can rotate, so I'm fine to like chase or whatever, right? Some plays you have a very small window because their jungler is like right there. So like let's say like you're playing mid lane and their jungler and like their mid lane is pretty low and their jungler goes for a gank and like it fucks it up and runs away. Well, if you like try and chase down their mid laner, then you're obviously their enemy jungler is just gonna come back and kill you. But let's say you're playing like Zed and you can just like one tap their mid laner, then okay, you can go for it, right? But you need to, in your mind, you need to be thinking about like what your window of opportunity is on these different plays that you're going for, because it'll influence how you play it out, right? Because here, if you were thinking about that, if you guys were thinking about that, I mean, then you might go for the Zac. Then like after he goes out, you guys should realize, okay, like we can try and pick this Kaisa, but if she gets away, then we have to just let her get away because we can't keep chasing into their entire team. Because you guys kind of like at this point, you guys really need to start like turning around and cutting your losses.
Yeah. That's probably my tunnel visioning Mostly.
Here, I think if I'm Viego, as soon as you spawn, if you TP to this ward that was here, you would have gotten a pretty decent flank off, I think.
I didn't
His
have
TP's
TP.
doesn't have-
down.
Oh,
It was a
he's
down. It was bugged. It was bugged. I think. Or maybe I'm just blind. I think it was bugged earlier. My bad then.
Because he has it now.
Yeah. Never mind. Never mind. Rito games. But yeah, that commit there into their team when they're coming in, that's kind of like the beginning of your downfall. Because you guys had a pretty decent lead, but now you guys are close to even.
I think for us as a team, what's happening is like before we used to always be down by this minute,
Uh-huh.
and for the past couple weeks we've been doing better early.
Mhm.
So our mid game's now really
Yeah.
like a cluster shit.
Yeah, so I think the big things, mid game things are so far in 2 games you guys have gone for like suboptimal rift heralds. So I think lowering your priority on second rift, first rift herald is really nice, but second rift much lower priority. I think making sure that you guys are just playing consistently front to back, because you guys have good front to back team comps, right? You guys have engaged support, good engage from Varus. Like if you guys just play out these fights traditionally and play to your strengths, especially when you guys are coming in with leads into mid game, then you guys will fare really well in these fights.
I mean, it's kind of awkward. Like we have to coordinate really well. Like I feel like the way it needs to happen is like Lissandra and Zach is always gonna be like looking opportunity to jump onto me, and then Poppy needs to maybe save me somehow, like by ulting at least like 2 to 3 people away from me. Or else
Yeah,
it
and
just
here
becomes really hard.
Here, why don't we go Baron?
Yeah, that's what I was calling to. Like I was calling like Baron right away, and we just stopped. I don't know.
I
Did we
mean,
stop
here
to
I
take
think we
Yeah.
saw their team. We saw their team. We saw someone here bot side earlier, right? So like the team is on the other side of the map. Our top wave is perfect for Baron. Our mid wave, like you guys can honestly just leave it and go to Baron. It's in a fine spot.
Yeah.
Here, I think if you guys just go to Baron, it would have been really good. Like this is perfect for Baron. You guys got to pick on their main DPS and on their main engage. And
Yeah.
obviously
I mean,
Zach.
like the thing that happened is like we waited too long. Like since it's like 21 minutes. Like we thought like we can take like this tower and the Baron. Like we just got a little bit greedy.
Yeah, no shot.
And then like by the time we took the tower and then went to Baron, like they were able to just respond.
Yeah, I mean it's the opposite because it's 21 minutes. Their respawn timers are super short, so you guys just don't have the time to go for that. So here, just as soon as you get picks like that and your waves are in a good spot, just go straight to Baron.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah,
like
I think
like 45 minutes, and you have time to auto the tower. Okay, like maybe. Then.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
to
I
go,
mean,
yeah,
now,
it
now,
was-
that
Baron play was
everyone's
just
on the map.
game.
yeah, we had to go right away.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now it's a disaster.
Yeah, this is where Kaisa just becomes unbearable.
Now you guys lose all your camps. You guys barely got Baron. Yeah, just get the pick, insta go Baron. Especially when it's this early in the game. I mean, it's just like you have to understand that, like your job as Poppy here is gonna be preventing their engage, right? So you can't be letting you have to be frontlining here. because Zach's gonna try and like it's pretty obvious Zach's gonna try and E in at some point. It's your job to block it. So when you're behind everybody, you can't really do that, right? So here, there's no reason for you not to at least be at the front of the bush, if not like up here higher. Because now, like, Zach ends up getting this big E onto, like, he ends up Eing and Ring and getting it being engaged, right? And you don't do very much in this team fight. So I don't want to say it's like all your fault, but it for sure hurt the team fight a lot that you're not there to W for him. Like here, if anything, someone like the support should go and drop a ward here so that you don't have to cover this. So you can just like here, if you're really worried about this big flank, I mean, we see the main thing you need to be worrying about is like Zach and Lysandre engage, and we see Zach and Lys on this side, right? So you shouldn't be as worried about this flank as you are, because the main things for you to worry about are coming from this side. So just here, I would sit in front, make sure that you're cock blocking Zach and Lys from coming in, and if you're really worried about them flanking, then ask your support to drop like a ward or something. But yeah, this fight's gonna be impossible to play out after that engage. After, and yeah, it's just a disaster. Yeah, and game's over now.
Mm-hmm. The gold is even, but I'm not a champion.
Yeah,
I'm at this point.
mean-
I'm a 30-second CC bot.
yeah.
This
Again,
was a
like-
really good ultimate, by the way, by Randy. But it didn't matter. He didn't have enough damage, and then we didn't have much follow up.
Yeah, like this popule again, like save your tools and your CC for when they're engaging. You can get like if you manage to hit that, it's not that big of a deal. But if you can get it on Zach now Zach's out of the fight, you're gonna get a lot more value there, right? Yeah, that was a big.
Dude, I
one
literally
for
just
him.
got perma CC'd. It was so unfortunate.
Dude, that looks so good early on.
And that was a horrible zone used by me.
We literally like that was the best that we could have done, to be honest.
I mean, I got everyone but Kaisa because Kaisa's not with the team.
Yeah. I mean, like we got your Rel ulti into Ori ulti into like a empowered Varus Q. Like that was perfect.
Yeah, so I think just think of it more, guys, and that's pretty much it for this game, right? They just done.
Mhm.
So, in general, the things that I saw between the two games are think about what really matters for your win con. So think about like where we need to be making plays as a team, where we need to like how we need to allocate our lanes and stuff for the carry speaking resources. There was like the small laning stuff we talked about, but that's just like generic laning, and you guys can work on that.
Mhm.
But in general, like the things that got you done the most were like going for the objectives that didn't matter, like those rifts, and then not playing like your front to backs optimally when you guys were ended up going for objectives. Like if you guys just play those front to backs a little bit more consistently, then you'll be able to transition your leads a lot better.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. Thank you very much for coming in, Ben.
For sure. Any questions, guys?
Do you do like solo coachings too and not just team coachings?
Yeah, for sure. And it's like if I do a solo coaching, it's gonna be a lot more on like when we went over top lane there, like the spacing stuff and stuff like that. It's a lot more of like that kind of stuff. Obviously, like here, I try and focus a bit more on team play. I'm not gonna spend like 30 minutes going over every single mistake that you make in lane. But if I do like if you reach out to me for like a solo coaching, then we'll focus a lot more on like this is where you should be spacing, blah blah blah. Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. I'll probably end up hitting you up pretty soon once I get some money.
Sounds good. All right. Peace out, guys. Good luck.
Peace.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kumiho, we lost the whole team fight because of you.
Monka.
All you.
You have one job, and it's to press W for the Zach.
Exactly. Jeez, man.
I think he was in the bush, so he couldn't even see when he jumped on.
I guess what were you trying to do? I feel like you were trying to like reactively use your W, like make
I
sure
mean, to
when
be honest, I wasn't trying to frontline. I was squishy as fuck. I only had HP and Divine Thunder. I didn't really have
not
resistances.
necessarily frontline. I feel like he meant like you needed to stop Zack's W, like Zack's engage. Like the only main way they're gonna engage is with Zack's W, and like the only tanks that we have is you. Like for frontline, it's you and
I mean, the way that I envisioned it was that when I called for you to like clear the way bot and like focus like the turret was for us to like pull back more.
yeah. I mean, like I was doing that, and then they just
Yeah,
jump.
that's why Rennie remembers I pinged him to like back off because I didn't want him to stand in front.
Mhm.
Like Rennie, do you remember that?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, like you can look at the comments, you can see like what communicated to Randy. It was just like, "Yo, back off!" Like, just like I want to like play like for bot turret.
Mm.
Yep.
But I do agree with him a little bit though. Like you should have been like using your W to prevent Zack's E.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
But like if me going for that bot tower, like if I went a little bit earlier, I think like we could have gotten it and then
Mhm.
still came back.
Anybody want to play?
A flex.
I gotta get up
dude.
for work tomorrow pretty early.
Mm-hmm. It's like
Um,
12. I recorded the review session if you guys want to see. I'll post
Yeah,
it on
okay.